Greetings, friends, and there is no war in Bossing Say. What are you? Why are you? What are you doing?
It's your fault.
Oh, emotions. I forgot what those are. Well, if you can't tell, we are at the some say masterpiece of season 2, Tales of Bossing Say, chapter 15. So let's just get into this absolute thrashing of emotions with I'm just going to tell you right now. I actually think Tales of Bossing Say is one incredible story, and the rest of them are just kind of there. It's an unpopular opinion, but I hold it. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at story number 1, The Tale of Toph and Katara. So, yeah, we got Toph. She's kind of dirty and nasty. And then you got Katara, who's all prim and proper. And Toph and Katara basically decide to go and have a spa day.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the story.
That's
Toph and Katara go and have a spa day. They hang out a little bit. I did think it was funny when they were washing Toph's feet and she was like earth bending the hell out of them and like throwing them out of the room, because those are some of the most dedicated workers I've ever seen to get like literally earth bent out of a room and still continue to serve them.
I would have been some gnarly nails there down there, mate.
Absolutely. But the I guess the crux of this episode comes near the end, or this mini-sode comes near the end, whenever we learn that Toph is basically insecure about the way she looks because she doesn't really know how she looks. And even though she says she doesn't care, you can tell that whenever this group of ladies walk by and kind of make fun of her, that it does bother her. And so Katara and Toph decide to solve this dilemma in the most mature and grown-up way possible, violence. And they basically drown all these harpies in the river.
I thought it was a beautiful little story because it also shows a really good connection between those two characters, that although we've had snippets of it throughout the series, this was a nice little moment to have that. And I think it really strengthens their bond.
It was nice to see Toph and Katara not at each other's throats. I will say that. But as for the story, very basic for me. Not bad. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. The next story, The Tale of Iroh. So
hence
this
the
is
reason
the one,
I was crying.
This is the one that gets everybody, because this, in case you did not know, the Iroh was voiced by an actor named Mako. Mako had a very distinctive voice. He had been working in Hollywood for a very long time. I pointed out that he was in what was it? No, it wasn't on this show. I was pointing out to a friend of mine. We were watching Conan the Destroyer, and was it the Destroyer? What's the first one called? Conan the Barbarian. Never mind. Anyway, I pointed out, I was like, oh, that's Mako. He was the voice of Iroh on Avatar. But during the second season, Mako was fighting cancer. And unfortunately, the cancer was winning. And I cannot verify this, but it is said that Mako was recording this episode knowing he would never see it finished. And there's some things that support this. For example, this scene right here, where Iroh talks to the little boys, is not voiced by Mako. That is actually...
I couldn't tell.
The actor who ended up replacing him is really good. And I had I had his name up and then I got it off, so I'm just going to pull it back up. I think his first name is Greg Baldwin. Is that right?
Yeah, great job.
Greg
job.
Greg Baldwin took over the reins of Uncle Iroh after Mako's passing. In this episode, though, he said he did not want to go credited. So he's credited as additional voices. But let's talk about the story. It's basically Iroh going through his day helping people. He goes to buy... what did he buy at first? Was it a teapot?
Something to do with tea.
Yes, of course it is, because it's Iroh. You'll also notice I think a great detail about these characters you'll notice Iroh's beard is getting longer.
Oh yeah.
As the story goes along, his beard gets longer, and you'll know Zuko's hair is starting to grow in as well. So the time is going by them. So and he does things where he sings a song for a little crying child, and then he kind of pushes a moonflower into the shade and says, "Oh yeah, the moonflower prefers shade." So he's just doing what he can to help people. He tries to teach these boys. It's always nice to be honest until he sees the really mean person who owns the window they broke. And they're like, "Not this time, run!" And
it's a great little moment.
My absolute, I guess, second favorite part of the episode is whenever the mugger tries to rob him, and what are you doing? You've got a terrible stance. You can't rob me like that. And I appreciate this about Iroh is that Zuko or even Sokka or Toph, maybe even Katara, would have just beaten the guy up and left. But Iroh sits down with him and talks and says, what's bothering you? And then offers some advice to get back on with his life. So, it basically, this is about leaving a legacy. And that is, I think, such an appropriate story to dedicate to Mako, who left a heck of a legacy with this character. Yeah. So much so that Greg Baldwin, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get to the really, really sad part. So Iroh makes his way up the hill and lights incense, and it's his late son's birthday. And he tells him, I happy birthday, my son. If only I could have helped you. And then he starts singing the song that he sang to the little boy, and you realize that's the song that he used to sing to his son.
Yeah, that's the gut punch, Jason.
Yeah, so it is
that's the gut punch.
It is an incredible song. And then they just punctuate it with this right here.
And as much as I was joking in the beginning by crying, I legit shed tears at that moment. I absolutely shed tears. It was they manipulated me so well with that song and the lead up to that story, and then just to come up and just a knockout punch to the face with that, you would have to have a heart of stone not to have reacted. It's in an emotional way. Like, it's beautiful. It's so some of the finest bit of storytelling I've seen in a show that is masters of storytelling. They managed to up it.
I admit I've seen this episode so many times because I always go back to it. And every single time I feel like the pressure behind my eyes at that point. Because it is just high emotion. Now, according to the stories, which again, I cannot verify this, Mako knew he was not going to make it when he recorded this. And so
that makes it worse emotionally.
And so whenever he's singing and he's breaking down, he's doing it genuinely. He's breaking down because he knows that his life is coming to an end.
Did they know, or did he keep it hidden from the production?
I honestly don't know. I know he passed during the production of the season, but I don't know if he told them or not. I'm assuming he did.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he did.
Maybe a couple of the key producers, but not everyone, I don't think. I think it would have been. I think he was a man of class anyway, apparently. Yeah. And I was looking into him and a man of who he was. So for him, he wouldn't have want the attention on him in that way, I feel like. What I read anyway. So, yeah. A sad, sad loss.
It is. It's a devastating loss. Mako continues to voice Iroh throughout the rest of this season. There were only a few lines of pickup that I think Greg Baldwin had to come in and record. And then Greg Baldwin takes over the role in season 3. Now, what I think is actually very clever is that Iroh, even though he appears in the first few episodes of season 3, he doesn't say anything. He stays silent. And They kind of did the same thing with Darren on Bewitched. Whenever Dick York was giving up the role to Dick Sargent, they would have Darren leave at the beginning of the episode, have Tabitha and Sam go on this adventure, and then Darren would come home at the end. So basically, you were having episodes without Darren, but Darren was still there. They have episodes with Iroh, even though Iroh doesn't say anything. So whenever he starts talking again, it's less jarring because you can
become accustomed.
Yes, because you have become accustomed. Now I'm going to say Greg Baldwin is a fantastic voice artist who just ran with it, and he did a great job with this, and he's respectful. He is respectful to Mako because whenever he goes to conventions and a fan will ask him to sing "Leaves on the Vine," Greg Baldwin politely refuses every time and says, "That's not my song. I can't sing it. That's Mako's song. I cannot sing Mako's song."
I like the guy a lot based on that.
Yeah, and he seems like a fantastic guy. I would like to meet him one of these days. The only person from Avatar who I've met has been Dante Bosco, who is just terrific, by the way.
Yeah.
He signed an autograph for me, and then he wrote "honor" in like capital letters. Yeah, we talked for a while. He was great. But yeah, fantastic mini-sode right here. And then we go to the next mini-sode, which is The Tale of Aang. This one should be good, right?
Yeah, you'd think so.
You would think so. So I can sum this up in one word. Aang brings animals to a zoo. That's all that happens. That's it.
It's cute. It's cute.
It is cute. And, I have to remember every now and again that Avatar is aimed at kids. It was aimed for kids.
And so we've been on a very dark journey with Aang. Maybe this was a chance for them to provide a little bit of levity.
Yeah, I've made no secret that the search for Appa is like my least favorite story arc that they did on this show, because I think that went on for too long. But yeah, I don't know. This was just such a big nothing burger. The only thing of note is that it's the last time we ever see this guy on the show.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, this is Cabbage Man's swan song.
I was always hoping one day we would see this giant cabbage empire. Like he'd gotten that successful. He had a franchise going at one point. That
would be ridiculous, VHS Jace. Who would believe that?
I would.
What, like a big cabbage corp or something?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They love their cabbages over there.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. I feel like maybe I've struck on something. Let's move on.
The Tale of Sokka. Okay, I gotta admit, I like the rap battle. I'm sorry. I know some people don't like it. I loved it. So basically, Sokka accidentally gets into a haiku battle with
it's a haiku, 5 words, isn't it?
Five syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. Sokka goes to school. He recites poetry lots.
Yeah.
Then gets his butt kicked. There you go.
Yes.
That's a haiku.
Yeah, it gets you a bit cocky.
I just wrote that. But man, it's a lot of fun. It is so much fun.
I like the audience reacting when he kind of lays a little bit of smack down. They go, whoa.
Well, this was this was after 8 Mile came out. And so they're doing a parody of 8 Mile. And I'm sorry, that's outstanding. Plus, we get this.
Yeah.
I loved this one. To me, it was the right amount of goofy, the right amount of fun. I don't know what Murder Bean is doing down there, but she's like grabbing my leg. I'm about to get bit, I think.
Cat's doing something too. Oh, no, he's asleep. Thank God.
They're going to attack us.
Sleep all day. Sleep.
To be a cat. All right, so let's take a look at the next story. It is The Tale of Zuko.
Zuko, yeah.
Basically, can Zuko ever find happiness? Well, let's find out, because there's a girl who's got the hots for Zuko. No pun intended. But she comes to the tea shop, and I'm sorry, Iroh here is just great, because he's so happy for his boy. He's like, my boy,
yeah.
He gets it all from me. Again, Zuko's growing hair. So you can see the passage of time on these characters, and I love that. And it continues through this series too. So Zuko goes on a date, basically. And he, of course, he's stoic, tries not to be...
Self-sabotaging. He drives me
he's
nuts in this chase.
He's self-sabotaging up until the point whenever he hears that she really liked the lanterns. And he tells her to close her eyes, and he lights them all with his firebending.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, mister, let's not firebend in the city because Jet may see us. Sure, whatever. Whatever happened to Jet anyway? Whatever he's doing, he sucks at it, I'm sure. So they actually like kiss, and I had a video, I had a picture of it. It's gone. Thanks, StreamYard. But they kiss, and then he tells her, "No, I can't. I'm sorry," and he leaves. And
I just wanted to grab him and shake him in that moment.
Like, be happy, you big dork. Just be happy for once. But there is some hope at the end because he walks in. Iroh asks him how it goes, and he like storms past him, slams the door, and then opens it back up, and he says, "It was nice." Yeah. And there's so much in those 3 words.
I suppose that little moment gives like a sense of hope that he is starting to recover. Because, I mean, this is a journey for me in season 2. I feel like Zuko's on a path of recovery. And it's not just an overnight thing, isn't it? It has to come bit by bit by bit. So
he is a child of trauma. Major trauma.
As everyone is in this bloody show. Everyone.
He's been abused physically. He's been abused emotionally. And so to see him seize even the smallest ember of happiness, it's a big thing. So you really feel like, this is the major step.
That character feels that he doesn't deserve it breaks my heart.
Yeah, because that's what he's been told all of his life.
Yeah.
He's been told you're unworthy, you're not good enough. And eventually you start to believe that if you hear that over and over again. Yeah. So, maybe the fact that somebody thought he was good enough scared him away because he was afraid that he was going to disappoint them later. Maybe he was hearing his father's voice in his ear, because if I heard Mark Hamill's evil voice in my ear, I would have canceled a date too. Yeah. Order the croissants. They're delicious. Oh my God, I have to leave. Let's move on. The last mini-sode of Tales of Ba Sing Se is the tale of Momo.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, when this title screen popped up, I cringed.
Yeah.
But it's actually good. It really is, because I don't have a picture of it, but this tree right here, just this ethereal dreamscape that Momo finds himself in because he misses Appa. And so it's basically Momo looking for Appa, and then he gets into this small adventure with some feral cats trying to eat him, and then he sets the feral cats free, and they lead him to where
friends.
Yeah, they become friends, and he leads Momo to where Appa had been. So this is our first clue. This is our first clue.
Another teary moment.
Yeah, this is our first clue that Appa is in Ba Sing Se. So but yeah, it's a fun wordless episode, and who does not love Momo? And sad Momo is not natural. I don't like sad Momo.
Wow. I'm going to say this, Jason, and I'm starting to get a little bit impatient with this whole Appa thing. They need to be resolving this in the next couple of episodes, please.
I told you this was grating. I think that they were like, oh, we can send the characters on an emotional journey with this, but then Aang's like, I hate everybody. I just want my Appa back. And they're, oh my God.
Yeah, so I think it's one of those things, Jason, where it's not great to go through, but I think it's probably very significant overall story-wise that we have it. It's almost like the medicine that tastes awful, but you kind of need to have it.
If you want to think that now, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm
basically
grasping at emotional straws at the moment.
They had to take Appa away to have the gang have a reason to stay in Ba Sing Se. That's it. That's the reason why Appa was taken away. Now we get a major Appa episode next episode. It's called Appa's Lost Days, where
All right.
we find out what happened to Appa.
Cool. So it's really just an upper episode.
Yes, it's an Appa class episode. It's Appa the Chain. It's
Appa.
If you're talking about the best, you're talking about the best episodes of season 2. It's Appa there.
Okay.
It's
if there
not,
was a pun god, they'd be ready to strike us down now.
I would deserve it. Send me to pun hell.
How many episodes are in this season?
Let's see, 20. Yes, and then there's I believe 21 in the next season. So yeah, we've got some hefty seasons here. And then when Korra comes along, they're much shorter seasons, but they're good seasons, I think.
Are they? Is it another 3-season show, or is it?
It's a 4-season show, actually.
Okay. Cool.
Now it's kind of it's weird because Nickelodeon originally told them, "Hey, we want you to do a one season miniseries," and they're like, "Cool, we can tell a beginning, middle, and end." And halfway through production, Nickelodeon was like, "Wait, we want a series now." And like, "Okay, well, we got to change the ending." So yeah, the first season is a little clunky because they tell the story that's obviously got an ending, and then they don't end it.
Right,
Second season is kind of clunky as well, but the third and fourth season I think are very strong.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I can't believe I'm going to be we're really heading towards season 3 already. It's nuts.
Yep, we're on the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, please tell us, what did you think of the Tales of Ba Sing Se? What was your favorite part and what was your least favorite part? There's a correct answer to the first one, but the second one, up to interpretation. Anyway, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, do everything that the algorithm gods like. And of course, question of the day, was the Appa arc worth it? Let us know in the comments. Was it worth it, or was it a big waste of time? Again, one correct answer, and we all know what it is. I am such a jerk, though. This series is a masterpiece, and I'm just looking down on it like, oh, look at this terrible arc that's barely a part of season 2. Oh, it makes the series so inferior. This is still one of the greatest animated series, if not the greatest animated series of all time. And
it's hard to chat in a period of the last couple of years, Jason. I've been lucky enough to be exposed to some amazing animation. She-Ra and the Princess of Power, this X-Men 97, like this does stand tall. I gotta say, as much as I've loved everything else, maybe that's because I'm in it. But there is something almost undefinably magic about this series that I can tell why it's universally not loved, obsessively adored, rightfully so.
And it deserves to be, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, without question.
Murder Bean. I don't know what she's plotting, but she's plotting something.
Yeah, it's good. My TV show will be better. Just got to wait. Got to get funding, that's all.
The last Murder Bean.
The last Murder Bean.
Funding anybody who would want to write it. Ugh. All right, folks. So join us next time for Appa's Lost Days, and we will see you then on Breaking Wind, a Last Airbender podcast. Murder Bean, the last cat.
We find out that Appa's basically been, just on a bender the whole time, gambling, liaising with women of the night. I think I'd be cool with it.
Yeah, Appa needed a break. He gets farted on more than any other character on the show.
Ooh.